Guys, I have a question. I have a stupid question. Did you guys ever play GTA, and when your parents were around, you behaved good? If you don't know what I'm talking about, like, when your parents weren't looking, you were going around fucking shooting old grannies in the fucking head. But when parents were around, you were like, la la la, driving nice, going in red lights. No, green light, red light. Be like, I'm being nice. And you're like, pretended this game wasn't about fucking slaughtering people. It was just like, driving good. And I totally convinced my parents that this game is just a wholesome city simulator. And I think down the line, I think my dad or something must have picked up the controller and be like, what is this game about? Let me play a little bit, because he played video games like every blue moon, and he like ran into a wall and into a pedestrian. I'm like, oh no, Dad, that's when you lose the game points. Don't do that, bad. And he's like, oh, I'm terrible at this. Wow, this game really punishes you for being a bad driver. But I'm glad there's games out there that teaches you how to drive good, like this one. And I'm like, yes? Oh my god. He was fucking with me. Maybe he was, but yeah, I swear to god. Goddamn GTA. Fucking, my brother had no, like, it's called that, like, censorship against the parents. I don't think you're playing violent murder simulators and all that shit. And I remember me and my brother had rented Silent Hill 2 on the PlayStation 2, like, when it came out. And so my grandma and my mom is at his place, and he's just like whacking one of the nurse mannequins with a fucking steel hammer or like a steel pipe. He's doof, doof, doof on the floor. He's just like, and I'm looking at them like, no, don't show them this. No, this isn't what video games are about. And suddenly they're like, this is what you guys are playing. This is what video games are. I'm like, no. I'm like, quickly switch over to the game where you drive against red lights, or don't do that. Oh god, video games. It was a challenge to give this facade or this masquerade for your parents that video games weren't what they thought they were. Because you remember in the early 2000s, it was this crusade against that all video games were violent, fucking, like, murder, crazy games, right? And I tried my best to, like, persuade my parents that they aren't, you know. Because my parents were slowly getting, like, they started listening to the media, and back then, it was like, all video games were bad. Like, that was what parents got told, you know. So, I was just like, no, they're not. And that kind of got shattered when my brother was playing Silent Hill 2, when he was like, fucking making a corpse into bloody butter. And I'm like, no, don't watch. No.